Okay, Greta, let's talk about drawing a panda today. And before we start drawing the panda, remember when we talked about how um, in order to better draw some of these animals, it's good to look at a picture of them or look at a photograph so that we can get some more ideas about how they're shaped and some of the details that the real animals have. So if we look at this picture of the panda on the cover of this magazine, we can see that is all black and white. That's the first thing we notice about it. And if we want to just look at shapes, if we don't want to think about the names of things, if we just want to look to see what things are shaped like, we can kind of see that this shape here is kind of like an oval, and this is shaped kind of like an oval, and we can draw ovals pretty easily. Here's an oval, and inside the oval is a little circle, a black circle, and we'll talk about how to make it look like there's a black circle. Let me hold it up there so you can see a little closer. There's a black circle inside the black oval. And here's a black circle inside the black oval. And we look at this shape here, we can see it's like a triangle shape. Okay, and this shape here is just kind of, there's kind of this shape that kind of goes like this down here for this part of the panda, or this part of this animal. So let's take a look inside. When we think about, when we draw our picture, we'll probably want to draw somewhere along the line is that whatever the animal likes to eat. Oh, let me find my page here. And here we have a picture of what they would normally eat. Let me get the shine off here. So we have them sitting down. We see the black four legs and the big white spot in the middle here. We have the oval shape there. And here's the thing that the panda eats, and we all know that that's the bamboo. And when it comes to drawing this picture of the bamboo, I'll put this a little closer. We can see that there's the sticks that are the branch parts of the bamboo, and then the leaf parts of the bamboo. Okay, and we can see that these lines come down, and then there's a little curved line in there. These lines are kind of straight, and there's a little curved place. So that's how we can really tell that this is bamboo, because of those specific markings. It's got that little bit of a curve there that kind of shows it's in pieces. And when we want to look at a real picture of a panda, and not just an art, that was the artist drawing, we can see that this is what real bamboo looks like. Look how pointy these leaves are. Gentle curve, pointy. Gentle curve, pointy. Okay, so we can see all these leaves are very pointy at the ends, and they're not very thick this way. They're long and skinny, and they're pointed at the ends. Okay, so we'll draw a real simple drawing of a panda today. And it looks like this. Super simple. He's got, it's holding something in its hand. We'll draw that as well. And the same way that when we drew the turtle, as we draw this, I'm not going to use any panda words. I'm going to use a marker instead of a pencil, just because I think it'll show up better on the video here. Okay, let me get this all set up so we can see it pretty clearly. Actually, I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to move this little guy up here like that. Okay, so when we start drawing something like this, I always suggest that you start with this part here. Now remember, I'm not going to use any panda words. I'm not going to use words like the head or the ears or the legs or the paws, because that makes the left side of our brain jump right in and want to draw something like a zoom. So we want to make sure we're very careful about drawing things by looking at a picture so that our eye gets used to looking at specific details. Okay, so when we start with this particular animal, I'm going to hold this really close so you can see. We can see that in the middle here, we have a dot. There's a black dot in the middle. And so here's the way we're going to draw this, so that we have a black circle in the middle of a black oval, but we can still see it really well. So the first thing I'd like you to draw is to start with just two black dots, because that's what's in the very middle there, two black dots. Very simple shape to draw. It's like the simplest thing you could ever draw. Then around these dots, I'm going to have you draw a circle pretty close to that dot. Now, it'll look funny until we get a little further along, so just stick with this. Stick with me here. So we have a dot with a circle around it. Next, we can see that there's an oval shape that's kind of tipped sideways. So we're going to draw an oval shape that's kind of tipped this way, and then on the other side, an oval shape that's kind of tipped that way. Okay. Now here's the little secret. Here's the way to make that look like a black dot or black circle in the middle of a black oval. Now we're going to color this in, and we're going to go right up to that circle. And if it looks too surprised, you can kind of color in little closely so that it's just a teeny little white rim. But we're going to color that all in. My marker is squeaky and it's weak, so we'll have to see if it lasts for the whole picture here. And I kind of like it better when there's just a little white rim there. If it accidentally colors in, if you're using crayons, then that's okay. You'll see it'll look fine. The other thing is I'd like you to draw in pencil, and then you can either color this part in, this black part in with pencil, or you can wait till later and color it in with like a skinny marker, something that'll help you get into little bitty places. Okay, so now we have those two ovals, and you can see now we have a black dot in the middle of the black oval, and we can see it pretty clearly. Now we have a black triangle that's pointed down. It's flat on the top and it points down. So now we're going to come in the middle here somewhere, and we're going to make a black triangle that's flat on the top and it points down. And we fill that in. Again, you can wait till the very end to fill that in, or you can switch over while you're going and fill that in with black marker if you like. Okay, next we have these shapes here. And this is kind of like a J shape. It comes down and curves this way, and then a backwards J shape going that way. So we're going to come down and make a J shape this way, or kind of like a not very good U. And that same shape going that way. And we have 3 dots. And then we have this little part here, and that's this part right here. That's this part right here underneath. So we're just going to make a little U shape underneath. Okay, so now we have that going. Now the next part we're going to draw is we're going to look here, and I start at the 1J shape, and I go around and around and around and around and around and around and around, and I come back and I hit the other J shape. Notice I'm not making a big circle. I have a starting place on this J and an ending place on that J. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to go around, and I'm going to end on that J shape. Okay. Now I have these 2 shapes here. They're like upside down U shapes. And we can color those all in. My panda looks a little gray instead of pure black. Okay. Now just looking at shapes and how to draw shapes. Now I see there's a shape, kind of a circle shape in a way. It starts up here at this kind of oval, and it goes down and comes all the way around and hits the other side of that oval. Okay, so it kind of comes down and around and hits back up on that oval there. All right, so now we have this round shape down here. This looks a little smaller, but this is almost kind of looking like a baby version of the animal. Okay, so now we have these 4 black shapes here. I'm going to bend this out of shape, bend this out of the way, just like I did on the last drawing. Okay. So now we've got these 1, 2, 3, 4 black shapes here. Okay, we'll call them shapes. That's using that right side of our brain. And now we have it comes down here and comes back again. Yeah, this is definitely looking like a baby animal. And then we would color it all in. Nice and black, pure black if you have a nice black skinny marker, or a nice sharp crayon. And then we have this black shape here, and what we notice about it is there's these 3 white places here. Now the reason, I'm sure you can already guess, the reason they don't show on this one is because he's holding his hand kind of up against his tummy, so we can't see these pads that are underneath the foot. Okay, I'm not going to use any more panda words now. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a very gentle curved line, and then a candy cane shape to come down and around. So we're going to do a very gentle line here, and then a more curved line that comes down. Now we have to make sure we leave a place where these 3 lines, or these 3 shapes show. And what we do is we plan ahead, and we're going to do this, and we're going to make some circles there, or oval shapes. Now we'll go back with our crayon or marker or pencil or whatever we're coloring our black in with, and we color that all in, and we go so carefully around those little ovals because we don't want to color them in. So we go really careful around them, and then we color the rest in. Okay, so we have that one done. Now let's do this one. Now these two black shapes are inside the circle. These two black shapes are on the outside of the circle. So now I'm going to do this shape like this. And again, we have those three shapes in there. We're going to save a place that doesn't get colored in. And we're going to, as we color it in, we get close to them, we're going to, oh, so carefully draw around them. And then we can see that they stay showing up like that. Then over here we have a very, almost a flat line, but it's a very gentle curve, and then a candy cane curve, and then we bring it the line, curve it over here so that it comes back and bumps back into this circle shape. So we're going to start here, we're going to go over, and then a big curve that comes down and comes back and bumps into the circle. And then we have those three shapes again, 1, 2, 3. And we take our really nice brand new markers, if you have them, and we color that all in nice and black. And I know you'll do a really nice job coloring all the black places in. And then oh so carefully go around those little ovals. And there we go. Now you'll notice I didn't put this part on, so it's time to put that part on. So we have one little line there, and then we're going to put a curvy line like that. And then remember when we looked at the shape of the food that this animal eats, the leaves are long and skinny, so we make a long curvy line, but it's hardly curved at all, but it's just gently curving, but it's pointed at both ends. And then we make another one here, and then right across from it, another one. And then if you have room, we can put some more in there. Okay, there we go. We've got ourselves a panda now. Now that I used all of my right brain words, like saying curves and circles and dots and those things, now we have it all done. Now we can call it a panda, because now we don't have to think with our right brain anymore to draw the animal. And now we have a floating, on our page, we have a floating panda bear, and we want to make sure he's settled down. Looks like he's looked like he's sitting on something. So what we want to do is we want to maybe give him some grass to sit on, because that's what we kind of saw in the other picture. He was sitting in some grass, and we can make the grass go across like this, all the way across if you like. And we could even put some grass down here and some grass over here. Grass grows kind of all over the place. Sometimes people who draw this, they kind of think the panda might get thirsty, so what they do is they give him a little bit of a pond or a stream to drink from. And if you want to make sure people know that it's a pond or a stream, we can make some ripples in it. Like a fish just came to the surface and scooted away. We can add some more grass. If you'd like to, down here we could add some more bamboo, like maybe a branch came off the tree and this is what he's going to eat next. Okay, now pandas, you probably already know this, they live way up high in the mountains in China. Oh, before we do the mountains though, let's draw a bamboo tree. So let's give him a tree. So I'm going to come up here, and remember when we looked at the picture of the bamboo, it was very skinny, and if you remember, the really important marks were these little curvy lines. And that really tells people that that's bamboo. And we can make a branch coming off of it with little marks on it. And maybe that can go up that way. And then when the branches always get skinnier and skinnier and skinnier when they get to the ends. And we can make long, pointy, skinny leaves all along the branches. And then the same over here. Small branches, long, pointy, skinny leaves. And I'll just make this go right off the page. And then makes it look like it's extra tall. Now let's talk about the mountains. Now in China, these pandas live way up high in the mountains, so we're going to put some very pointy mountains up here in the background to give us an idea where that panda really, really lives. We could even put some trees that are kind of halfway back too if you wanted to. Just kind of little marks like that. Okay, and when it comes time to coloring, I'm sure you can figure out that you've already colored this black and then we can just leave that white. The snack he's holding in his hand, the bamboo, can be green, of course. And then you can add other things for color. You can add the sun, you can add flowers. This is kind of a sun that's kind of just kind of general. It doesn't really look like, the sun doesn't really look like that. If you wanted to, you could put the orange, I'm going to pretend this is an orange crayon. You could make it all orange down in here and maybe some red and yellow to kind of make it look like a sunset or a sunrise. And then when it comes time to coloring in the grass, remember, grass can be all different kinds of colors. It can be light green, medium green, dark green, yellow, even some brown in here, to show that there might be some dirt spots. And flowers are always a good choice if you want to add a little extra color to your picture. Okay, so I would recommend, you're in second grade, you're a little older. If you're older than that, if you're old enough, you can make a sunset in here or a sunrise. You can just kind of color the sky in, like you just using your imagination. Okay, and always remember that you sign your name down here. I go by Mrs. G sometimes, so that's kind of how I sign my artwork. So you sign it with your name down here in the corner, and then have fun coloring. Okay? Have fun coloring your little panda. Okay, we'll see you next time when we choose another drawing project.